SQL injection is one of those things that shouldn't exist anymore, yet here we are. If you're a developer, IT professional, or just someone who enjoys breaking things, ethically of course, understanding SQL injection is crucial. This guide will walk you through what it is, how it works, and how to prevent it. Imagine you own an exclusive VIP club, and the only way to get in is by whispering a password to the bouncer. But one day, a con artist shows up and says something that confuses the bouncer so much that he just lets them in. That's SQL injection in a nutshell, a sneaky trick that confuses a website into giving access where it shouldn't. Websites often have login forms where you enter a username and password, and normally the website checks if your credentials match an existing user. But if a hacker finds a way to inject their own SQL commands instead, they can trick the system into granting access. There are three main flavors of SQL injection attacks, each more annoying than the last. First, we have in-band SQL injection. This is the hacker equivalent of yelling really loud until the database spills its secrets. They insert malicious SQL code into a vulnerable input field and get direct responses, often through error messages or data leaks. Two classic variations are error-based SQL injection, where the hacker forces the database to reveal juicy details via error messages, and union-based SQL injection, where they stitch together multiple database queries like some kind of evil Frankenstein. Then there's inferential SQL injection, the more subtle and patient cousin. Instead of getting immediate responses, hackers play 20 questions with the database, figuring out data based on how the system reacts. Boolean-based SQL injection involves sending queries that force the website to return either true or false, slowly piecing together sensitive information like a really slow, illegal puzzle. Time-based SQL injection is even sneakier. It introduces artificial delays in the database response, meaning if the system takes longer to reply, the hacker knows their condition was true. Finally, we have out-of-band SQL injection, which is for hackers who prefer the scenic route. Instead of using direct database responses or Boolean tricks, they exfiltrate data using other channels like sending requests to external servers. Now let's look at some real-world SQL injection examples. Imagine a login form where an attacker enters or1 equals 1 instead of a normal username. The resulting query might look like this. Select asterisk from users, where username equals empty string or 1 equals 1 and password equals whatever. Since 1 equals 1 is always true, the system just shrugs and lets them in. Another classic trick is error-based SQL injection. An attacker modifies a URL to include a single quote at the end, breaking the query and causing the database to panic and reveal information about its structure. So, how do you stop SQL injection from ruining your day? First, use parameterized queries. Think of these as database-safe seatbelts that prevent dangerous inputs from executing. Input validation is another layer of defense. If the user tries to submit their name as Robert, drop table students, you should probably reject that. Stored procedures can also help by keeping SQL logic controlled, and escaping user inputs ensures that special characters are treated as plain text rather than commands. The principle of least privilege limits how much damage an attacker can do, while keeping your software updated ensures you aren't vulnerable to old exploits. A web application firewall acts like a bouncer trained to spot hackers. Security audits help catch vulnerabilities before attackers do, and educating developers ensures fewer mistakes happen in the first place. If you're feeling paranoid, as you should be, there are tools to help you identify SQL injection vulnerabilities before hackers do. SQL Map is like a hacker's best friend but can be used ethically to test your own systems. HeyVij, JSQL Injection, SQL Ninja, and BBQSQL are other tools that let you simulate attacks to strengthen your defenses. For hands-on practice, platforms like TryHackMe, Portswigger Labs, and various SQL injection labs provide safe environments to learn how SQL injection works. Understanding SQL injection is crucial for anyone working with web applications. By following best practices and staying vigilant, you can prevent your database from being turned into a hacker's playground. The internet is already a dangerous place. Don't make it easier for attackers by leaving the back door wide open.